if I'm always out hiking for the rest of my life, would I ever have to pay taxes? This is from Son of Dick. Thank you, Son of Dick. Now, the viewers cannot see your eyes, but I can see the amazement because, dang, is this a good idea? I like this question.
This is a first off, very obvious answer.
What?
Of course you don't have to pay taxes.
What are you talking about? There's not a definitive answer to this. Everybody pay taxes. You do two things in life.
What's
you
the
die,
second one? Okay.
And you either go to heaven or hell, right? And then you probably pay taxes, but we don't know.
Can I just point
Do
out?
you always pay taxes?
Can I just point out this beautiful thing that those are the only two certainties in life, and somehow there is no third certainty of you're born?
Hey, that's a good point. Change it up, folks. We found we concluded that you were wrong.
I'm not saying we just rewrote the 10 Commandments.
Yeah, the 10 Commandments. Taxes and death.
Thou shalt be taxed. Thou will probably die someday.
That's 10.
5 and 5.
5 and 5. Okay, if I'm always out hiking for the rest of my life, would I ever have to pay taxes? I like to view this as like a ghost person sort of idealization where you don't open credit cards, you do not have a bank account, you do not use a debit card. Right. Those are all related, but you know what I'm saying? Like you don't do any of these things. You grub for cash and then you buy more boots because you just have a stock
hike
of
boots.
You have more hike boots. Your whole bag is full of hike boots, and we're hungry. Our whole bag full of hike boots. We eat hike boots again. No, but like, would you have to fake your death, or could you just go for it?
That's a weirdly...
Can you just up and leave? Would they ever find you is the thing. Would you, if you left, would you ever have to pay taxes because you're never coming back? I think that's the idea here, right? Like, you can go on a trip and avoid your responsibilities for 4 days while you're going to a camping site.
Okay.
If you literally never come back, what's the repercussion?
Okay, so this is where the question gets tricky. Because in my head, the definite yes comes from, you don't own a house, you don't own anything that would be taxed. Of course you're not going to get taxed, because you just don't have that. But I like the scenario now where you do have a house and a bunch of stuff that will get taxed, but can you get away with just not paying the taxes because you don't exist in that spot anymore?
Yes, you have responsibilities. You have a mortgage. You have a cat that needs to get fed.
You have kids.
You have kids.
They're not with you.
Them behind. You were getting taxed emotionally because you left your kids behind.
They were very taxing on your life, yeah.
Yeah, so you're not being taxed in that way anymore.
You used to drive taxis.
Worst. You drove a taxi. Your kids were taxed on your life.
You used to work taxidermy.
And you were a taxidermist by trade. No more taxes because you're hiking. Sometimes on the hiking trails, you kill an opossum and you say, I could fill this with stuffing. No, I'm getting away from the taxes.
Right, I can't.
You leave it behind.
I can't.
You leave that skin of possum on the forest floor.
You start to go insane because you're like, I have to kill this squirrel to survive this winter night, or I could invest in killing 10 squirrels so that I can eat for long. No, I can't do that because then I'm gonna get squirrel taxed, and that's gonna bring up a whole scenario.
I must make hat of squirrel. Earmuffs of squirrel.
If you make any investment, even if it's metaphorical in life, you will get taxed. So you can't invest in like where you're gonna shelter up for the night, or like food for the winter, or things like that. So if you're just out hiking, you're gonna need to get really lucky with hikers passing by, and you need to be like, yo, you got chips in your bag that you can give me?
Tax-free chips?
I'm trying really hard not to pay taxes. Do you have some chips I could eat?
I'm super anti-tax. This is Will and Zane podcast, the no tax because of hiking podcast.
This is how to hike your way out of taxes.
The anti-taxi, anti-taxidermy, anti-taxing kids podcast, where we tell you never to do those things again.
Well, let's think of it this way, now that you mention it. For
Run away from your children.
Hikers that could have been taxed while they were out hiking. Think of that guy in that 127 hours. What if he got stuck on tax day? Would they really be mad at him?
They tax him an arm and a leg.
Oh, this is going to cost me. This is going to cost me.
It's going to cost me an arm. Okay. Bad joke.
5 days.
It's gonna have to be 5 days in one arm. Yeah. I mean, I like the idea of leaving your entire life behind. I think it's a solid idea.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't tax, you might not be able to continue listening, and for that reason alone, I think that do you get taxes for electric? You do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you get taxed for electric,
Mm-hmm.
so you can't charge your phone.
Right.
You can find public speaker systems that are playing podcasts, music, that sort of thing. If you really need to search after your media, Tabasco. But if you, there it goes. You feel the tinglies?
That's the tingles in my mouth.
That's the tinglies. That's the segue tinglies.
I'm really glad that this episode is very indecisive on whether or not it's an advice episode or an ASMR episode.
It's really on the edge of both. Because we're doing a lot of advice and a lot of ASMR. So it could really go both ways. We're going to tag it as law, ASMR, and advice. Think you could do that for this episode, Zane? Is that too hard?
No, that's exactly right in our wheelhouse.
Okay,
That's
cool.
what we were born for.
I mean, we weren't born for advice either, but we found ourselves in this
When I was born, my dad said, "You will give advice, and anything else is temporary."
Everything else is taxes, and then you'll die. That was the last time I spoke with my father.
That was
He
the day I was
wasn't
born,
very
and that was
motivational.
also the last day I spoke with him. And also now he's out hiking and doesn't pay taxes.
One day he loved saying he was going to go for a hike, and he never came back.
The other day, it's been 21 years. The other day I was out hiking. I could have sworn I saw a man that resembled my father.
I could have sworn I saw a Yeti man that looked strangely like my father from 13 years ago. He hasn't shaved in 13 years. Yeti man? Is that you, Dad? You probably aren't listening to this podcast.
Breaking news, man killed by Yeti. Thought it was his dad?
Will and Zane, I have a question for your podcast. My dad left 13 years ago to go on a hike. Does he have to pay taxes?
May not have to pay taxes, but he's definitely paying the price.
He's not getting taxed by our living or his taxidermy business, but yeah, man.